Good morning. This probably won't go on too long. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. I hope that you were safe, you were profitable, and or you were rested. Not arrested, but you were rested. That you are rested. There we go. I don't know. Anyways, what's up, everybody? We are live Monday morning. We'll take a look at the low board. There's not a whole lot going on with dispatch this week, but then the personal aspect of everything at home has gone up dramatically. We got to start doing some stuff for taxes and start getting that all lined up, and then if there's any loads worth doing, then we might try to do one or two. But anyways, yeah. So I appreciate everybody coming in. We were live Saturday night. If you missed it, there was a replay. I think we had Cool Trucking and we had Jackknife TV in there for a minute, and we talked a little bit about everything. I got the yellow dollar sign from Google, but they cleared it, so everything was good. But you say certain keywords, and it automatically goes to yellow. Thanks, AI. Right? So, the support for the channel has really increased, and I really appreciate everybody for doing that. So, I'm very grateful for that. The other channel, I did a video on traveling guide with tools. So make sure you check that out. That's the Snorelord OG. If you type in Snorelord OG, it'll be right there. It's got a different avatar, but it still has my logo on the deal there. So pretty easy to find. I my son, it's funny. I always talk bad about TikTok, which I still do, and we'll go to the grave with never ever doing a TikTok. But so he pointed out that I guess I don't know why he was googling Snorelord, and he found a TikTok channel that said Snorelord, and it was one of those deals where it had no posts, no videos, and like followed like 400 something, and then had like 200 something followers. I'm like, huh. So I don't know, maybe someone else is out there is called Snorelord, which whatever. But also someone wanted to make sure I didn't create a TikTok. If I did, I wouldn't have the name, because I'm at Snorelord on Facebook and on Instagram. So, but anyways, that's dumb. Social media is dumb. Don't listen to any of it. And I'm just thankful that you're here. So, so let's go over. We'll go over some comments. We'll go over the low board, and we'll even do a volume check on DAT, just to be fair to everybody. I use multiple low boards. I use multiple tools. I do endorse the 123 low board, because if you're new to the spot market and you need some tools to help you along, it's a great resource. And if you're a broker, you can post your loads for free on 123. So there's that. We got our coffee and our Iron Maiden mug, so all is well with the world. I do have to get out of here at 8 o'clock because I have to run a very important errand that cannot be delayed. So I don't care if we're in the middle of a hot topic, 8 o'clock, I got to go. So this will be a shorter live feed. We've been averaging about an hour and a half here usually on these, and so we're going to be right at an hour. Well, a little bit less because I didn't start right at 7 a.m. Doesn't seem to be any major weather events going on. There is a big, huge earthquake ×2 in Turkey, so hopefully nobody's flying there, which I believe that there's no threat of anybody listening going there. They had a little earthquake, a little 4.2 there in Buffalo, New York. So there's that. That happened this morning as well. So I thought that was interesting. Not that really does much, but anyways, yeah, pigtail. That's a good point to make. But let's get into the comments here. You guys are commenting. Pigtail, you are first. Yo. Good morning, people. DPG, what's up? Don, only 7 minutes late. Just joking. Hope all is well. We're trying. Mike Nine Toes made it. Don Shonger, hello. Mike says, good morning. Pigtail, you're back from Miami. Looks like you were having some fun down there. What are the rates in the Midwest looking like? Well, we shall look. We shall look. Morning, y'all from Indy. SST, you changed your avatar. Good to see you. My name is Nobody. Good morning. Grinds my gears. Good morning. Getting unloaded in Dallas. Hopefully it's all thawed out down there. I believe it is something. Good morning. It was in the 60s here yesterday and the day before. It's been nice, and I think it's supposed to be in the 60s again today, but that cold front's moving through, thunderstorms, yada yada yada, 30s afterwards. Same stuff. Boulder Woods, top of the morning. I showed up on TJ's live feed Saturday night. It was funny. I had the video playing on another device, and it was funny when I exited. Daycab was like, I think he was intimidated by my background. I thought, I not really, but it was funny the comments he made. FedEx reducing workforce by 10%. Yep. I mean, layoffs are going to happen. No one's buying anything, so. I won't get into the details of that today. I barely read that article. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to report on an article and that I don't read. So it's just a headline. Because you never know. I mean, I've got this app called Smart News, and every so often it sends me news alerts, and it's like it'll have a headline like, "Oh, we are on the brink of blah blah blah," and then you read, and it's like, "Oh yeah, this was said like 2 months ago," and it's just the headlines are very misleading. And when you hear about FedEx laying off 10%, I want to read into it. I want to see what that's all about before I say anything about it. See, now this Trucking Life, what are the rates in Midwest looking like? It is too early to tell what they're going to do this week, and that's kind of what I've been noticing is like there's a push on Friday, and this is what's kind of caught me off guard for the last 6 months. You think I'd kind of catch on, but what I've noticed for the last 3 months actually is Friday used to be the push for the highest rates. In other words, we're desperate to get this freight out of here for the weekend, so let's give up a little bit more money. And I noticed that that's not the case anymore. It has been, the 3 o'clock shuffle. Well, you had the Friday 3 o'clock shuffle was really profitable at one time. Not so much. And I think the reason being, and here's what I pay attention to. Now, if you do get some good rates on Friday, that means that means rates should increase the following week. In other words, well, no, that was stupid. Erase all of that. If they're really pushing the rates down on Friday for Monday loads, that means that rates might come up the following week because they anticipate capacity changing in our favor a little bit. Not by much, but a little bit. So what happens is you have this Friday afternoon push from the brokers to bring freight rates as low as possible because they know they're going to lose a little bit of money the following week. So if they can anticipate capacity changing in our favor the following week, and you can anticipate that, that's hard to predict unless you got sonar, which is incredibly expensive, then sometimes you're better off waiting until Monday to book that Monday load. Now, I despise load boards on Monday morning because it's all chaotic. You don't know if the loads even exist. No one's answering their phones. Everybody's trying to sort. Dispatchers from bigger companies are trying to sort out what they have. You have people that are like, I guess I'll book a load, and they're getting up Monday morning trying to leave, for the weekend. So Monday mornings, I don't even look at a load board till 11 a.m. unless I absolutely have to. And so this is just my thought process. This is not fact. This is not, this is just how my mind works. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. A lot of times I'll wake up Monday and like, so we're doing this week. And it could be for the better or for the worse. Now, my trucks I've got one truck in the shop and another one's booked until, he's booked for the rest of the week. So there's that. And then, and I'll reach out to a couple of other people if they need some help this week, and that's it. Unless I grab somebody new. So, I'm saying too much. I apologize. Mondays are always, okay, let's see what we're going to do this week. And sometimes Monday is a crap show, but then Tuesday the rates kind of stabilize or they increase a little bit. So it's literally an hour by hour thing at times. So I'm going to try to answer this question, this trucking life, but I don't know how accurate that information is going to be. If layoffs are happening, why is ABF hiring everywhere? You never know, right? You never know what's going on. So, FedEx might be doing a cutback of what they have. And ABF is probably doing a hiring program because maybe, sometimes a company will make a change and they anticipate they're going to lose a few people. I know Schneider does that. When Schneider made the collision mitigation, rule, that you had to have it on your truck, they lost a lot of contractors, Jeffrey Like included, which is why Like Trucking exists. And it was more than they anticipated, so they lost a little bit of their capacity, and they kind of withdrew that rule and delayed it for another year. So I mean, you have layoffs that could be at the corporate level, you have layoffs that could be at the lowest level. Like, you could sit there and say, well, we're laying off every janitor and every OC, across the nation, and that could be a percentage, right? So there's no rhyme. There's a rhyme and reason of why businesses do layoffs and why are some are hiring. I mean, look at Walmart. Walmart is obviously hiring, and obviously their logistics is still screwed up because Walmart stores are just sporadic on what they're stocked with. You can go to independent grocery stores or smaller grocery store chains, and they're fine. They're expensive as hell, but they're fine. So there's no rhyme or reason, right? You just got to figure it out. Can I bring a topic up about fuel surcharge and why brokers are allowed to not pay it? I understand the wordplay is used to avoid it, but my understanding is it's supposed to be money in onto of agreed rate. The problem with fuel surcharge is I don't know a whole lot about it. Like, I don't know the formula. I've never investigated that. I've never paid attention to it as I'm in the spot market. Now, DIY Semi did a video on Saturday where he talked about quoting lanes that these brokers are putting out massively all at once. And that's where you have to know your fuel surcharge and what's included on that. And that's where fuel surcharge comes in. Now, if you're talking to a broker and you're negotiating fuel surcharge, then that's to that particular broker. Some aren't set up like that. Some are, some aren't. And if you're talking to the guy that's making $12 an hour, just answer the phone and make sure these loads are off his computer. He or she may not know that as well. So, it's all on how it's broken down. So if you book a Coyote load, it will tell you how much money was broken down if it's broken down. Same thing with C.H. Robinson. And if they just say this is 1,200 all in rate and they don't break it down, is breaking down going to really? I mean, I don't know. It's something that I've never really paid attention to, and maybe that's a mistake on my part. But it Cool Trucking talks about um, fuel surcharge all the time. So there are brokers that will break it down. I mean, I could show you Raycons where this load pays $1,200 and approximately 200 blah 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 is fuel surcharge, and other brokers don't break down at all. So it just depends on how the contracts are laid up too. Reducing management as well as workers. There you go. So less people unloading. So it's not really in the driver spectrum. The rates in Missouri are horrible, worse than Florida. Never go to Missouri. Oh, that's funny. Um, if you get good rates on Friday, expect that load to cancel on Saturday. That's usually a thing too. Morning Snorelord in chat, Trucker Jason. Speaking of DIY, there he is. There he is. Desert Okie Pam, good morning. Pigtail, finished Hackbook. DIYs is starting a new book tomorrow. Good deal. DIY Semi and I, we do these book reviews, and it's been pretty good. I mean, it's nice to talk about something other than trucking. And yeah, so DIY Six Semper Tyrannus. CB, good morning from Kentucky. Want to collab? We always collaborate. Like right this second. Good morning, everyone. Coffee and a wave from Loxley, Alabama. Shannon, I have a question for you. Did I hear you right on your live feed the other day that you called your broker at 2 or 3 in the morning? What's up with that? Like, what broker are you using that's up at 2 or 3 in the morning? If I call, look, I've got personal numbers of a couple of my brokers. If I call them at 3 in the morning, they're going to be mad. Yo, 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 yo. Hello, YouTube. It's your favorite American local truck driver checking in from GA. Relationships. Look, I have a really good relationship with my wife, but if I wake her up at 3 a.m., she's going to be mad. Oh, hey, let me almost forgot. So Freightwaves reached out to me, and they have a podcast called Back the Truck Up, and yours truly will be interviewed for that podcast on Wednesday. So there's that. So obviously I'm doing something that somebody thinks is okay. Something other than trucking. I'll shoot you some pictures from last week's adventures. Nice. You learned that from DIY? You learned to call your broker at 3 in the morning from DIY? Man, Adam, what are you spreading out there? Must feel nice to be wanted. Whatever. You've got a bigger following than me. You had like over 100 some odd people. I've never reached. Well, no, I take that back. I reached over 100 people in my live feed one time because people thought I was going to talk crap on another YouTuber. That was it. Because, drama sells, right? Anyways, they reached out to me, and I thought, yeah, man, I could do this. Um, let me send the text out. Dying Breed, congratulations. Thank you. Morning, Shannon. Boulder Woods. Everybody saying hi. Cheap Freight Hauler, good morning. Quick Hit, good morning. Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live feed was great. Cool. All right. All right, let me I'm gonna do an emails here real quick. Oh, wrong emails. Do. Do we know the topic of discussion? No. We don't. Dang. I guess I gotta do it this way. Page. Let's see here. All right. Copy. Paste. I just sent you a link there, Mr. Adam. What about that live stream with Asian Mai? That didn't get over. Oh, I think that might have gotten up there. Yes, that did get over. I forgot about that. Thank you, Don. Sipping my Black Rifle Just Black out of my Snorelord coffee. Is that Just Black good? I imagine it is. Question: if you were to get your intrastate authority for Flatbed, what would be your top states to set up? The entire Southeast. Let me look here at the list. I have a list somewhere. I had a list of intrastate authority states. I can't find it. It's usually right here. But Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Georgia, Carolinas. What's up, Mr. DIY? How are you?
What's happening?
Not much. Not much.
Yeah, about the intrastate authority thing. I know you have a list, but I happen to have a whole video about that. So
Oh, nice. That blows. And
check
I had to
that out.
steal that list from somebody.
That's okay.
Now Jeffrey Like talked about the AAA compliance where you can check that website and see if you need intrastate or not. So I just made a list and I stole somebody's list and just now it's a quick reference guide. Kind of like the convoy beer permit video I did. So yeah, I saw that email, Buck Brown. I'll get into that. Killian's, hope all is well. Double dip recession. So did you see the question about fuel surcharge?
I did.
You want to answer that because I'm ill informed on when it comes to fuel surcharge.
Yeah, I mean, I understand there's some regulations with fuel surcharge, and if it's collected, it's supposed to be passed along to the truck. But it's one of those things that just shows you don't need any more regulations because the ones we have aren't enforced and can't be enforced, and they're poorly enforced. It's a good example of that where if there is surcharge, they can just pay you less on the line haul, to make it an all-in rate. So our pens are always sharp, pencils are always sharper than theirs, right? In any of the regulations they pass are generally like this. So we don't need any more.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Have you the I get on Facebook and I keep seeing report after report after report of the scamming going on with brokers, identity thefts and all that. Have you seen, because you and I have talked about seeing a lot of brokers that we've never recognized before, a lot of them that are showing up.
It's just dumb. Like the amount of it going on. I posted a load on DAT the other day against by better judgment and got some emails, and there was only one that I wasn't even suspicious of, and we talked. I ended up booking the load with him, and I explained to him, like, listen, you're gonna have to call me. Like, this is your first load with me. I want to know when you get there, when you get loaded, when you're gone, whatever. And I says, you do that the first time, and the next time you haul a load for me, it won't be like that. I promise. But I said, there's so much freaking scamming going on right now. And he's like, really? I haven't seen any of it. Explain it to me. And I explained it to him. And he's like, I've seen some of that. I got to start watching for that. With the double brokering and stuff. And then I explained to him, on the other side of it, what some people are doing to carriers, taking advances and not showing up to pick up loads, or they were never going to haul the load in the first place because they just stole somebody's identity to book the
Mhm.
load. Um, all kinds of things like that.
Yeah, I had a friend that had a truck up in Seattle area a couple weeks ago. Went to pick up the load. The load didn't exist, but it was still posted, and it happened to him twice up there. And that was the same time I was trying to get. I believe it was Greg out of Seattle, and I was seeing kind of the same thing. I was seeing like brokers with Gmail addresses for the payment accounts,
Hmm.
and one of them was a a company that's been on YouTube because some YouTubers promote them. Um, that company had a Gmail address for their accounts payable, and it's like, I mean, look, I use a Gmail account for my own truck. Like Trucking has, we have our own server, so we've got dispatch at Like Trucking. But as a broker, I don't. If they got a Gmail address, no, I don't even mess with that at all.
Not
Um,
only scammers, but here's that you just put an idea in my head of a video I need to do. It's not only scammers, but inexperienced brokers. Um, I had a broker try to pull something over on me a couple weeks ago, and I don't think they were scamming me. I think the person was just dumb and didn't know any better. And there's some things to watch out for that it could be on the up and up, but then after the fact, they could turn around and turn the screws to you afterwards. And I'll sit down and pick that apart and do a video about it. But the inexperience level is getting just as bad. We all know the Ubers and the convoys that give you phony appointments, right? And
mhm.
screw them up all the time, and then you're stuck, holding the bag in your hand. And what am I supposed to do with this freight? Well, you got new brokers taking these loads, and they have no idea how to schedule the appointment. So if anybody's, some people probably know about this, but like your bigger customers, like take a Target, CVS, uh, various different big companies, right? You got to schedule all this stuff online. They got different programs like Blue Jay, Retalix, stuff like this. And these
Mhm.
brokers take these loads and they have no idea that they have to do this. So they either don't get appointments scheduled, or they go into this Retalix and say, "Oh crap, the first available appointment is a week from now, and I already got this on this guy's truck. Now what?" Right? So there's just all kinds of screwing up going on, and guys got to watch out for it.
Yeah, and read the rate cons because here's something I've experienced. Um, you go you call in a load and they say, yeah, it delivers Tuesday at 8 a.m. And so you're on the impression this is a 1 day transit. So you book the load, you just glance over the rate con, you sign it, and then you realize, oh, it's Tuesday of next week.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it till you got the freight in your truck. And next thing you know, it's like we had that happen. Something similar happened. We got to the receiver. It was a load of hand sanitizer, and this was during the shutdowns when like the convenience stores were trying to charge $20 a bottle for that stuff,
Hmm.
and they wouldn't take them early. No, and he didn't read the rate con. It said it was a week, and they tried
Oh,
getting them in early, and it didn't happen. So I mean, pay attention to the rate cons as well, and the bills when you get them. A lot of
yeah.
times, shipment numbers can be mixed up, and if you get the bills and it says it's going to somewhere else, you need to inquire before you leave because that can cost you a lot of time and money. And they're a lot of I'll call brokers on Friday, and they're like, oh yeah, I could pick up either Friday or Saturday. And like, well, I won't empty out till Friday night, so yeah, I can pick it up tomorrow morning. And next thing you know, the place is closed on weekends. I had one broker from a big brokerage try to pull one on me. It's like, yeah, you can pick it up until midnight tonight, or it can pick up Monday. And then so I hung up on that guy nicely. I wasn't rude, and then I called that brokerage again, knowing I would get somebody different, and they told me it was a Monday morning pickup. So,
Ah,
I mean, you have people that will get desperate just to get the stuff off their queue, just to get the stuff off their desk
yeah,
for Friday so they don't have to worry about it Saturday.
yeah. And there's something else. We've been doing this for a while. I just don't talk about it because it's some people might think it's a shitty thing to do, but um, so being that people don't schedule appointments right and are inexperienced and don't know how things work,
Mhm.
if we go to pick like in the reefer business, a lot of stuff is pick up in the afternoon or evening and deliver the next morning, right? So they're tight schedules.
Right.
And if you don't get loaded, they're not taking you. And guess what? Depending on the customer, it can be rescheduled for, 2 days, 3 days, a week. Um, Recently found out that Chewy's is one of the most difficult customers to deal with. And if you miss your appointment, it's usually a week for a reschedule. And we dodged that bullet. But so if we go over a place and it's a 5 p.m. pickup for next morning delivery at 7 a.m. and they don't load us in time to make that delivery, I won't let them load the truck at all because you're going to lose 2, possibly 3 days for little to no money, maybe just enough money to pay for the reefer fuel,
Yeah.
and you're out. So um, we've been kind of doing that strategy for a while, and there's a few times we've had to bounce out, and only one time did the broker get mad at me. And actually, I had a broker tell me once that, hey, you did the right thing because it's Walmart, and as well as I do, if you're late, you're looking at a 2, maybe 3 day reschedule. So I'm glad you didn't let them put it on the truck. And the brokers usually don't get mad. The shippers might get mad, but I don't give a damn. Uh, you had every opportunity to load the truck. Sometimes 8, 10 hours grace period. So
Yeah.
being that people can't get appointments rescheduled, etc., uh, we're not afraid to do that.
Well, the other thing too is like I think it was a click and go load that um they were not having any luck rescheduling the truck, and I forget what the issue was. And so we were able to do that.
Hmm.
And then then the broker called, "Hey, just, I'm still trying to get an appointment." And you're like, "Yeah, I'm empty. See
Yeah,
ya." So
yeah, we've
I
had that too.
I had a situation where it was two of us. I was at Landstar. Two of us were picking up a load going to Ardmore, Oklahoma, Dollar General, and he beat me by an hour. We both had the same delivery appointment because we were chatting, at the dock at the shipper, and he beat me by an hour. And I go in an hour early, so he was there even earlier. And so I show up, and they're like, "Yeah, that guy parked right over there. He has the same delivery appointment number you do.
Ooh,
Sucks to be you. Leave." And so I called the agent, and she was like, "I don't know why this happened, blah blah blah." So um, turns out I missed 3 days because of that load, because they had to reschedule.
yeah,
And
and you
yeah,
can't make it up. It's just gone.
yeah,
It's, oh, I'll work more, or get more money. You can't make it up. You're just
right,
out. So hey, people need to share in the pain. It's a
yep,
it's a guaranteed loss if you miss it. Have to sit a day or 2 days. It's a guaranteed loss. I don't really care how much they pay you. And then they're out nothing. So share the pain. And I ain't mad at the broker. It ain't the broker that did it. It's the whoever the customer was. So um, and it'll never change till they have to feel a little bit of pain. Maybe their customer might jump down their throat for not getting them the product.
right.
They'll obviously blame the truck, but at a certain point, they'll realize, hey, you guys aren't loading them to get them here.
And so that's the advantage that you and I have. We've been in this game for a while, so when it comes to sniffing out either a bad broker or even an inexperienced broker, you can kind of sniff that out, and it kind of helps. It doesn't completely eliminates, but it at least minimizes it to an extent of, like I've called on loads, and the details were so sketchy. I'm like, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think I'm going to pass on this load. Well, why? Is it a rate? Is it the rate? I mean, I can come up. I'm like, obviously, dude, you don't know what you're
No,
doing.
it's because you don't know what you're doing. Like you can see it coming a mile away.
Hmm.
You're trying to you're trying to feed me a shit sandwich with a shotgun, and I feel it coming. You know, I'm not
That's a
stupid.
that's a great analogy.
Yeah,
Um, there's there's and that's the thing. When I go on Facebook, that's what I was going to say. When I go on Facebook and I see, oh, I people will go to Rate Per Mile Masters and they'll explain the situation that they're having with the broker. And as they're going over the details, I was like, why'd you even book that? I wouldn't have even booked that. Like it
yeah,
was, if it's trouble from the start,
hmm
I'm out
yeah,
because the way to survive, especially now, is to keep moving.
yeah,
And I called on a pork load, and the details were sketchy. Guy couldn't even say the name of the receiver, and I'm like, either you're hiding something or you don't know what load you even have. And so either way, I'm out because that's where, like, pork plants are notorious for scheduling trucks when they don't even have product slaughtered yet.
yeah,
And again, it was experience that told me. It was people that I knew, people in my circle that say, hey, if you book some pork, there's an issue. It's not, you know it, it I know a gal that worked at a shipping department at a pork plant up in the Carolinas, and they said they did that all the time. And I had buddies that predominantly run meat refrigerated freight. They sat all the time with pork. So I was like, and that's why this dude's details were so sketchy, because I was like, yeah, I'm out. So have a good day. It was a good paying load. It was a shame. It was paying good, but it was one of those deals. If it pays too good, there's a reason.
well,
So,
I'm liking pork these days. I love hauling anything with pork. Usually it's going to pay a little bit better, and there's
hmm
a reason for that
yeah,
because
yep,
you're taking about half of the truck drivers out of the market on that one.
yeah, yeah. Same thing with alcohol. You know,
Yeah. Um. Well, I was going to say something. Now I forgot. Oh well. Oh yeah, and Stuart made a comment. A cross dock facility on their dime. Here's the thing. Um. You're right, but it's hard. Like first, you got to find a cross dock facility that'll take it. So
hmm
I had a truck out in Pennsylvania once that the broker totally dropped the ball on. It was a four stopper, and they screwed up the appointment so bad it was going to be almost a week to get it all off. I said, "Not our problem. Not our problem. Cross dock facility, here we come." So I'm calling around trying to find somebody, and within 100 miles, I could not find anybody that would take it. Like all full. And then the other ones are like, "Well, yeah, but this and that." I'm like, "Well, you also have to have an agreement with them. They won't just take anybody."
hmm
So it's got to be like an agreement with the broker or whatever. So it sounds easier than it is.
Well,
It's
not
going to be
only
a big
that,
hassle for you.
but there's more chance of cargo damage. There's more
Yeah.
chance of
Yeah.
pallets missing. I mean,
hmm And they're
you
going to
know,
try to hold you responsible for it. The rights are on your side with that, but they're going to try to come after you for it.
it's kind of like that situation I dealt with last week where we showed up at the wrong facility, 2,000 miles wrong facility because of the ball that the broker dropped, and I gave him this ridiculous number, thinking that it would just cross dock it, and like, oh, we're giving you the ridiculous number.
Damn.
Oh,
How'd that work
okay.
out, by the way?
Well, the truck ended up breaking down almost there, so that was a whole deal. But we handled it. We handled it. In fact, I got to get with the driver to see how everything went down. So make
Is he
sure we're good
rolling
to
yet?
go. No, I believe the truck's in the shop. I could see it off the ELD. So hopefully it'll be rolling soon, and he'll make enough money off this load that it'll get him rolling. So, but
Okay.
but anyways, no, I really appreciated your video about the RFPs and on
Yeah, I got two
Saturday.
more this morning. I got two more requests this morning, so this is awesome.
Excellent. Um, so yeah, check out Adams from live feed on Saturday. Explain what an RFP is real quick, if you
It's
don't mind.
some RFP, RFQ, or just a bid. It's a request for proposal. Usually this time of year, freight lanes are up for bid with brokers, shippers, receivers, 3PLs. They're not going to fall in your lap. You kind of got to go out and ask for them. and you bid on freight. You can bid on as little or as much as you want to. It doesn't mean you have to take it, but it's a good way to get your feet wet, make a lot of contacts, learn a lot about that process, and get involved. It's everybody knows what the spot market is like. Hey, a lot of the freight is going to stay in that contract market. You better go get it if you want to, have enough freight for the year. Keep yourself busy. Get You don't have to do everything in that market in the contract market, but it's a good place to be right now. And honestly, that's like I said in the video, the people making the real money in trucking are not on YouTube. They're out doing that, right? The people building companies and for the long term, people that are responsible for employees, they need consistency, and um, that's what they do. So it's out there for you to do, even if you're one truck. You can make some of it happen on some level for yourself. I'd highly encourage everybody to do it. And if nothing else, you know, look on YouTube. Everybody mad at brokers. Crap talking brokers. This is uh this is where you go get back at them. Take their freight. Take their freight if you're mad at them. Or everybody says I can do it so much better. Here's your chance, man. These are the same loads that they're. This is the same way that they're bidding on freight. The
Yep.
exact same way.
Yeah, and people ask me why I don't put somebody in my truck. I said, well, if maybe number one, if I found the driver that I trust, but number two, I would want to have some steady freight. Like if someone like, TQL approached, they had a thing out for Joplin to Springfield. How many of these can you do a week? And I knew what the products were. I knew the customers. So this and something that stood out to me that you said on Saturday was, if you know your lane, that's even better. So like if an RFP comes for, like, say LA to Seattle, I wouldn't know much about that because I don't know the history of that. Whereas if it's like Springfield to Kansas City, or like Kansas City to Dallas, I know those lanes because I've ran those lanes for years. And I think that's a huge advantage. I think one of the things that stood out with your video is that you have to know your cost to be able to give them an accurate quote, because things change, things fluctuate, and then you also can throw FOMO out the window, because you have to realize that this is for 6 months, and if the market suddenly takes a turn up, you're
Hmm.
still expected to do it at that level. The only thing that fluctuates is the fuel surcharge, so if
Yeah,
fuel goes up, you're kind of protected. But
yeah, and you
um
have to price that in. That change, just a certain amount of change,
right.
plus or
and
minus a certain percent.
and I remember there was a company out of Ohio a couple of years ago that went out of business. They filed bankruptcy because the customer kept changing the contract amounts, and they were so desperate to stay on the contract that now they were running underneath their costs, and there was a lot of mismanagement with money as well.
Mm.
And that's what took them out. So that's something to take into consideration when you're doing these quotes. Now, Nothing Woody's got a great question. This is regarding something that Shannon had said in her live feed on Saturday about calling brokers at 3 a.m. So, do you have any relationship with drivers that you're going to book a load at 3 a.m.?
If I'm up, hey, anything's fair game. Anything. It don't matter. Like, yeah, I've probably done it. Actually, yeah, I have done it. Especially if I'm on the road and just laying in my sleeper, waiting to load or unload or tossing and turning. We'll fire it up and do some stuff. But yeah, I've had to make those calls to customers at 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
I What's the worst they're gonna do? Yell at me?
I was just joking with Shannon that if I call my like couple of reps that I work with, if I call them at 3 in the morning, they're not answering their phone.
Yeah.
They're
Uh,
gonna
if,
be like, the 24-hour line, so you get somebody from another country.
if they would call me at 3 a.m., I'm calling them at 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's kind of, um I mean, especially with the freight that you're probably dealing with, you probably have to be on call like that, just in case things go wrong, because
Oh, we we had a driver, you know who had to call a broker's cell phone at midnight a couple days ago. It's a problem with the load. Got to be sorted out. Can't wait till morning.
Yeah.
Call after hours. All they do is say, I'll email the broker. So they'll have it first thing in the morning. Well, you can't wait like that. You got three other customers, place where we got to be. So
The Sterling, by the way, I saw that you gifted some memberships. Thank you for that. You gifted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thanks for gifting the memberships. So I appreciate that, Sterling. You're a good dude. I was halfway through your video of you giving up the truck. I love the multi-camera stuff you're doing. That was really good. I have a 1 a.m. story. So I was doing a load from Tulsa to St. Louis. It was a load of dunnage that I was picking up. And I get there and like, yeah, you're not ready. We'll call you when we're ready for you. I'm like, okay. And which was okay because, now I'm in a safer area. The gangsters aren't, breaking into Pepsi and doing stuff. So I was at least parking safe in downtown St. Louis. And we had a new contractor that just started, and I told him as safety manager, my phone's always on. You can call me at 1 in the morning, and I'll probably answer. And so it was funny. He actually ended up calling me over a lumper check, and it was like I was sitting there looking at my phone because I was still waiting to get loaded, and all of a sudden I picked it up on the first ring, and he goes, "Whoa, you actually answered?" I was like, "Yeah, man, that's how we are. That's how we run." It was kind of funny. He didn't expect that from a small company, but I do have the safety phone on. I mean, I might have it on mute, but I can usually hear the vibration, and unless I'm out. So,
yeah.
but 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 no, it was a
Oh,
great video Saturday. Oh, go ahead.
what were we talking about before that? There was something I wanted to talk about in addition to
Inexperienced
that.
brokers, cross dock, fuel surcharge.
Uh,
Man, you
nah,
got the
I
same
forgot.
thing I have.
Maybe it'll come back.
DIY has a video on stopping authority. Saved me $2. Thanks for the super
That's
chat.
that's how we eliminate the competition right there. Make a video, tell them how to go away. Teach them how to close up shop. Thinking about
uh,
calling Rail and explaining it to them. Mark,
Call up Rail. Call up Snyder. Hey, here's a video I need you to
yeah, let
watch.
me explain something to you here.
Huh. um, but no, thanks for coming in, man. I've always enjoyed. It's you and I've been talking quite a bit. I'm learning a lot from you, and because I've been thrown into this reefer world, so it's at the point where I got more reefer than vans now, as far as what I'm personally dispatching. And I believe that you said something else Saturday. Talk to the people that know if you don't know. In other
Yeah,
words, like let's say you want to bid on that lane that's from Seattle to LA. Well, but you don't know much about it. Well, call the people that do know much about it, that can tell you what it usually runs. Like I'm getting ready to do that for a possible direct customer. I'm getting ready to do that myself. And because I don't know much about this particular topic. So,
welcome to the dark side.
yeah. Well, it's look, I don't know much. I really don't. I just know a lot of people that know a lot more than I do, and I think that's how I get by in life. And I never claim it to be my own. So I just and that I've been literally my entire trucking career has been out of Springfield, Missouri. And the experience I had with my dad as a kid, and in his truck, and the struggles that he dealt with, and the way he ran his business, and when you live in Springfield, you live in the land of the shadow of prime. And so you have a lot of people that have tried their lease program and didn't quite make it, and you see what freight movements are in and out of here, and working for a company for 6 years doing the same thing, and how they structured their dry van business. I learned a lot from that. And then also, if there's, I've seen the fluctuation, like from Springfield to Columbus, I've seen as high as 25 and I've seen as low as 16. And so knowing that, I knew that, if you have your costs, you have to go with the ebb and flow of the spot market. So I've been doing the spot market for, 6 years now,
Hmm.
or no, 5 years. 5 years this month, actually. So, and I've learned a lot. And then Landstar, there was some spot in there too. So dealing with, a low board that you bid, talk to brokers and everything, that was a good experience. And then Schneider taught me the lanes and contract rates, contract freight, what works in the drop and hook scenario. And sometimes, as a customer, if you want to bid on a customer, you need trailers, you want trailers, and I thought that was interesting. You're talking about US Express, having those drop and hooks power only. And I think that if you're an authority right now without a trailer, that might be the way to go. So,
It is, because that stuff is not going to hit the spot market. Once those bids are in, that freight's off the market for the rest of the year.
mhm.
You might have one trickle down to the load board here and there, or somebody falls off or fails or whatever. But everybody knows the competition is tough right now. It's going to get snatched up.
Pneumatic brick engine is just let go. Truck being taken back to Atlanta. My mechanic will rebuild it.
Oh
Wow.
no! Time for a
He,
new truck. Time for a
well, he
brandy new.
he was gonna rebuild the engine anyways, but I guess the truck decided when instead of him. Well, pneumatic brake, if you need anything, let me know. It's weird that a metalhead can't handle reefer. That's funny. Always enjoy your show. Great content. Thank you, Red Diesel, for the super chat. And no, we're not splitting it, Adam. So there you go.
Ah, damn. I mean, I have my Cash App right on the screen. Damn. I'm just kidding.
Not if I highlight a comment, you don't. I'm here for valuable information. Here's my contribution. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. Um, so, uh,
Oh,
the,
I know what. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
go no, go ahead. Before you forget, go ahead. Go
I
go.
remember what I was going to say about. We were talking about the. You're talking about knowing your freight lanes and all that, whatever. And you said the Phoenix to LA or Phoenix to Dallas lane, really well, right? Or
Hmm.
you've been doing a long time.
Not
Well,
Phoenix to Dallas. It was Kansas City, Dallas. But go
Kansas
ahead.
City, Dallas. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if other people have been doing that, a similar lane or any lane for any period of time, you got to realize, like, you've been practicing, 5, 10 years for this very thing. You've been practicing that lane just for such an opportunity as where you could possibly get something really consistent on it, and you know what you need to know about that lane. So don't be afraid to take a shot at it. You'll lose way more than you'll win. You might not win anything the first time. You might be years before you win something, but you will eventually. This is like my third year of doing these, and I actually won a couple lanes this year. So, um, but if I hadn't been doing it, the past few years, I would be starting from scratch right now. And if I hadn't, we do a couple lanes from Wisconsin, Minnesota to the East Coast. We know those lanes very well. It was all practice for this.
Yeah. Your video would have been really handy about 4.5 years ago because one of the big shippers here in Springfield is handled by this one broker. It's Transplace, and I was constantly doing their loads, and they were usually going up to Michigan. A lot of them were going up to Illinois. Now, Michigan is a market that I don't know much about. My company used to send us to Michigan, either running shoes out of Kansas City or batteries out of Pennsylvania. But other than that, there was no Missouri to Michigan lane that my company drove in, and I never really saw that at Landstar. And I had a really good relationship with this Transplace broker, and she was like, "Hey, we're quoting, we're doing the RFPs for these loads out of Springfield going to all different points, Michigan." And she told me to throw a number at her. I'm like, I don't know. It's like, and I was here. I was like negotiating, like I'm trying to get that home run load, and then I was like, I don't know if I could even commit to that. She's like, oh, don't worry about that. It's like your video like 4.5 years ago would have prepared me better to go into that, because that could have been a really good gig, because I end up doing a
Yeah.
lot of those loads, but I was not dedicated to it.
Eh,
So,
don't be afraid to be wrong, to miss. I mean, if you miss by a ton, they'll let you know. But then you know. Or if you were close, they may let you know. Or they may say you were at 275 a mile. Um, we really need to be, everybody, you're the next five people were at like 255 a mile.
mhm.
If you want to be in the running, that's kind of where you'd have to be. Sometimes they'll sometimes help you out or tell you.
Yeah, and you really kind of have to know your stuff to even request. I mean, like, I didn't know what I was doing, right? And so you're not just trying to book a load with the broker for one load,
Hmm.
and so the inexperienced people that are your competition on finding that last minute load, the guy that's got the rattle trap next to you that can do it for 80 cents a mile, or thinks he can do it for 80 cents a mile, can undercut you, whereas the more experienced people are going to be bidding on those lanes like you're talking about. So in some ways you have a better chance of, I mean, someone's still going to undercut you maybe, and that's why it's really important to know your costs, which you know as well as I do that majority of owner operators don't know their costs.
Yeah. Well, what did you last week? You had a guy tell you his cost was 55 cents a mile, or something like that.
Yep. So you gotta
Must have a Tesla. I almost had me a CDN on my show the other day, but we missed. I missed
yeah,
by a little bit.
I see you trying to steal them. I see how you are.
Hey,
Nah, CDN's a great reference, and I'm going to be getting a hold of him this week to talk about what we were talking about earlier, last week. So, because I need help. But, anyways, I got to get off here. I got to go pick up some stuff for my youngest, so she's not sick anymore, and uh, and the pharmacy opens at 8:30. So I got to get off here. Greg Zimmer with the super chat. Thank you very much. Good morning to my two business partners. There you go. And that's what you need in this world today is good, partner up with good people. I've got I've got CDN, I've got Jeffrey Like, I got Adam, I got some other people that you know I've listed. I had to go to another friend of mine for some real estate advice because there's some major stuff going on in that world too. So CDN's says my apologies, but I had to leave on Saturday for a function.
yeah, we'll do it someday. I'd really like that.
He
I
has a life, Adam. Jeez.
We can't have that. We can't be having that.
uh, Look at CDN. He's kissing up to you now. Good morning, Steve. Excellent guest this morning.
Ah, man. Yeah. CDN has good information. Now, does he do standalone videos for himself? Like,
Nope.
no.
Nope. He's using our channels to get his message out there. He's
Hey,
smart. Instead of
let's do
building
it.
up a channel, it just goes with something established. That's a smart way to do things.
I'll spill a little of our secret beans here this morning. Something you told me last week that I think was supposed to be confidential, but I'm going to tell him anyway. That you said that CDN is one of the only ethical brokers that you know.
Yep. I think I know another one, but yeah.
Ain't me.
No, it
I'm screwing you 10 ways to Sunday. You just ain't caught it yet.
I want transparency. I want to see what you're doing. No,
Buy some
CDN
Saran
does his
wrap.
homework.
My best advice.
I've been on the phone with CDN when he has customers call in, and I can't hear the other side of the conversation, but I can hear his end. And man, dude knows his stuff, man. He knows everything about the shipper, the receiver, the details, the product, everything. I mean, and he handles a little bit of everything. He does LTL, he does heavy haul. He's doing a little bit of everything. So he's got to know his stuff. He's not the broker that you call him like, so who's the receiver? Um, some C uh something distribution. He won't do that. And then also, if you ask him what the product is like, it's like freight fac. What does fac mean? Oh,
Whole
freight
truckload of
of all
fact.
kinds. He's not that guy. Yeah, he
Oh,
says he doesn't have time to build the channel correctly. So he's latching us.
Marty says the brokers just got to add on the 40% to their price for the shipper to get us more money.
Oh man. All right, Nomadic Brit. Good luck to you, man. If you need anything, don't hesitate to call me. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and call Steve. He'll
Yeah.
help you out.
Yeah. I'll give you emotional support, but not financial support.
If you're asking for money, Steve's the one to call.
I got a $5 super chat. A few of them.
Nice.
So, all right, Adam. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate your knowledge. And
Well, thank you for having me.
we'll
Everybody
talk
check out my
later.
channel.
Yeah, everybody check out DIY Semi's channel.
Check out that super thanks button.
Yeah, I got them too. Cash is King is the only one that's ever used that. The super thanks. And then I got to get going on the shorts, man. Shorts are now monetized. So
yeah, it ain't gonna be. I mean, you might have a penny or two.
Hey, a penny saved is a penny earned, or something like that.
Do you have memberships?
Yeah, I have lots of memberships. I have different levels of memberships. I have the
What are they?
Headbanger. The Headbanger's $2.99. I have the Metalhead, $9.99. Metal Army, $19.99. And then I got that ridiculous one if you want me to help you with a business plan or help calculate your cost or help you find a good strategy for running the way you run, or maybe you want to get into the business. I got that $99 one. But that's narcissism right there.
Yeah, but people should do it because, like, if you went out and tried to hire somebody to do that for you on the open market, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. I mean, $100 is nothing to pay for that kind of advice.
Yeah, I mean, and they can call me. We'll go over their costs, and like, let's say they want to be an owner operator and they live a certain area. I can kind of tell them what to expect, what to look for, what kind of truck to deal with, because I've either seen a lot or I've done a lot or both, right? So I was never a lease purchase guy, but I know quite a few people that have, and I've seen all kinds of different structure. Saturday night someone asked me about Hurricane, and I told them my opinion, because I know 3 people that were over at Hurricane and what they dealt with. Same thing with Trans Am, same thing with Schneider, same thing with Prime. So
When you do those meetings, do them on StreamYard so you're face to face. Just keep it private.
okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. So, but yeah, so we have some memberships, and we're just trying to help the industry be a little bit better, because the more you got your act together, the more you can survive when things go awry. So I appreciate that, Adam. Thanks for coming in. Everybody check out DIY Semi's video. I know a lot of you came over here because of him, so I appreciate everything that you've done for me.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, DIY, I would love to build a proper freight broker course, but again, it'll take a lot of hours I don't have. You're a busy man.
It's yeah. People pick up good stuff just from listening. If they're paying attention, they're gonna pick it up. But yeah, thanks for making me laugh. I need to laugh more during the day.
I try. Every now and then I'll send you a funny text, or you know it's funny you said you were like talking about how you need to be around positive people and you need to not absorb all the doom and gloom, and I'm like, yeah, every now and then I got to call Adam and get him off his doom and gloom cliff.
Somebody's got to do it. I appreciate it.
Well, that's what I do. That's what I think. That's my purpose in life, is to kind of be the calm, cool, collected one. That, hey, the house could be on fire, but hey, man, you still got to get out the door.
You're a little too calm. We need to get you all jacked up on caffeine and methamphetamine, get you bouncing off the walls kind of crazy.
No, I don't need that. Sometimes,
All
look, I've done videos where I've had a little bit too much coffee and I'm like talking like really fast, or I'm all riled up. But it's funny. The other thing you did Saturday is you talk about your rants. Your rants are like mine. They're not really rants. They're just you're just stating facts, but in your head, you're like, but
Oh,
it doesn't look like that.
there's so much more I wanna say.
Oh yeah, the filter's strong with us, I think. There's a lot of stuff that I if you see me do a long pause, that's my brain filtering. Oh, like, okay, we got to filter this a little bit, because you don't want to say the wrong thing, or you don't want to completely go all emotional on something. And sometimes you got to just take a deep breath and just let it slide off, because there's some ignorant stuff out there. Someone in the chat mentioned about how all the YouTubers were talking about fuel shortages last week, last year or whatever, and I had family. I kind of got angry about that, because I had family members calling me. We heard that there's only 20 days of diesel in it. I'm like, calm down.
Yeah.
It's fine. The only shortages that I've seen is every now and then there's a little bit of logistics issues because the river's dried up, or a thing went down, so they're just having to truck it from longer distances. I know 2 people in the fuel industry that are hauling fuel. You're fine. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if we
I
run
mean,
out of
that's
diesel,
social
there's
media.
way bigger problems than just not being able to buy diesel.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, Adam, I'm going to kick you
Yep.
off. Thank you
See you
very
later.
much.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you later. All right, guys, that was Adam DIY Semi. Check out his channel. There's some great other channels out there as well. Cash is King. You got Truckers Education Network, and anybody else that's in this chat. Sterling, thank you for the gift memberships, and thank you to the super chat, Greg, Trucker Jason, Red Diesel, and Sterling. So I got to go, guys. I got some important stuff to do. So with that being said, strength for today, hope for tomorrow, live and learn. Peace.